Welcome back to AWE TV. With me is Christi Fiorentini with Lockheed Martin Aeronautics. She's a senior applications engineer. And you mentioned that Lockheed Martin is getting more interested in AR. Tell me about what Lockheed Martin has tried and how Lockheed Martin got to this point. What are some of the problems we're trying to solve? What may not have worked? And why is augmented reality and eyewear such a compelling solution?
Okay. Well, augmented reality is something that we've looked at over the years. Me personally, I've only been working on it for about 9 or 10 months, but it's one of those things that until recently, it hasn't quite been mature enough for us to take a true, sincere approach to. A few years back, we did some development in-house, trying to develop our own headset for AR, and didn't really have the form factor that we were looking for manufacturing. So now recently, some of the devices out there that have really elevated their design have made it more of a true technology that we can bring to the manufacturing floor. So for us, it's really about affordability. We're always trying to cut costs. We are a defense manufacturer, and so reducing costs not only helps us as a company, but it helps us as Americans, because part of where our money comes from for each product is out of our tax dollars.
Well, it's good to know my tax dollars are going somewhere and to help pay your salaries.
Well, it's a very small portion of it.
So you mentioned maturity. So what are some of the stumbling blocks in earlier explorations in AR? What were some of those things that you mentioned? Design. How has design changed in the last year?
So I would say the form factor is a big thing. My role specifically is to manufacturing, and when you're building an aircraft, you're hands-on. You have to use both hands. So having something that is truly mobile, that can be put on just like a regular pair of smart glasses, like safety glasses, but now have more information in them, help the user adapt that. So the biggest challenge I have in my job, regardless of the technology, is user adoption. And if it's not easy for them to use, they're likely to just set it down and never touch it again.
So you do consider the adoption, whether the person on the line will use it, you monitor them, you consider their approach to it, whether they accept it. Is it too heavy?
Absolutely.
The view. Am I getting the information that I need? Is it helpful? Is it more efficient for you?
Right, and some of the devices out there, the field of view is limited, right?
Sure.
So if we need to be giving them enough information and they can only see a little tab up here, it might not be the most useful for them. But if we can maybe overlay everything what they need to see with the real world, it's now providing them information where in the past they would have to go over to a workstation or a paper drawing and look at that paper drawing, understand what they need to, go back to their workstation, do the work, come back, go back and forth. So we're reducing time right there by now putting everything on the user and keeping that user ship side, and that's kind of where our affordability comes from.
Ship side?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
So ship side is how can we keep that mechanic or electrician on the product, and we call an airplane a ship. So ship side.
Ship side. You mentioned the 2D drawings. There's a lot of industries kind of trying to get rid of that. Or try to make it mobile. So now it's a PDF of, let's say, a draft of a house, for example. Your talk is focused on AR smartware, so that implies the head-mounted. Are you guys looking into mobile devices, handheld, so that you can just overlay, get the information, and then put it away and get back to work?
Yeah.
So
actually, my talk is really focused on finding the niche for technology. We have optical projection systems already deployed in manufacturing.
Meaning there's a projector projecting parts or schematics on top of the ship.
Exactly. Fastener types where you install fasteners, so now you don't have to look at the blueprint, you see it in front of you. That is augmented reality.
Yeah.
We just never really considered it augmented reality. It was considered projection, right?
Sure, projection.
So what my goal right now in my job is looking at how do we take any technology out there to reduce the amount of time that the mechanic has to go back and forth to get this information. Is that optical projection? Is that smart glasses? Is that a tablet? And which one fits in that use case?
Sure. So you guys will use the numbers. How much time is saved? Fatigue. Give me a number. Like what have you? The advantages of projection versus the mobile device AR versus the head mount?
I think it's not necessarily a difference between what gives you more benefit. It's more a difference between what is the form factor to help you do that job.
Okay.
When you're doing work on a big wing, for instance, a pair of smart glasses might not be the best use for that because there's a lot of area that you have to cover. So a set of projection systems that can project that information is easy to implement. But if you're inside the nacelle of the aircraft, so where the engine is held, and you're
components, a lot of things to track,
and you're constrained by the space, it's harder to put a projector there, and so putting a pair of smart glasses on that convey that information is much more useful, and is something that we weren't able to achieve with projection. So it's really about different constraints, what kind of information you need to see. And one of the proof of concepts we've developed last year was for wire harness routing. And
so you have someone hovered over an object, the aircraft, and tooling it, or?
So wire harness routing is, for our use case, we had the forward fuselage of the F-35, and they have a bunch of wires that route through the side of that fuselage. They connect all the different components to make it function. So where optical projection wouldn't have worked is that it doesn't give you that 3D visualization of that wire harness, and that wire harness is very fluid. So to be able to now convey a 3D model on top of your aerial space, AR on a pair of smart glasses or a tablet can give you that, which optical projection couldn't.
I was looking for something more exciting than someone hovering over an aircraft. So numbers, like what benefit have you found? What is the efficiency?
So in that proof of concept I mentioned, we had a real small source of data to collect on, but we saw about a 17% improvement in productivity, which is huge when you compound it across the whole program.
Sure.
But that was limited. We're really working on trying to develop additional pilots to verify those numbers, to drive a business case so we can truly invest in what is needed to get to that point.
This is exciting. I think it's evident a lot more industries, manufacturing, and different industries are looking to AR and even VR. Anything in that realm of closed space, closed view, so no peripherals?
So we have a lot of different groups within our organization that have been looking at simulations or maybe VR for design. So that is definitely something. I'm more on the manufacturing side, but we do have people that are investigating that. A few of them are here with us today. But one of the things that I've been asked about doing work instructions or using AR for a program like F-35 is how do we do this across the whole program? And my answer to them is we have to design our next aircraft or next product with AR and VR in mind. Because right now we're having to retrofit a lot of information to fit a new technology. And the costs are astronomical for us to do it across the board. So we need to start looking at this technology and seeing for the next program that we bid on, how do we incorporate this type of technology to make us more efficient and make us build a better product.
Interesting. So now the technology is kind of changing the process.
Yes, absolutely.
Where do you think Lockheed will be in the next year? Will this new process happen? Will your aircraft, or our aircraft, since we're all paying for it, will it all be manufactured with AR or different AR modalities?
I don't expect that to ever be the case with our current products. I do see us finding specific applications where it's very useful that we can start deploying. However, due to organizational challenges, us being a defense contractor puts a lot of boundaries on the way that we incorporate new technology. There's security concerns with the hardware and the software, having to vet that. So honestly, I do see a 3 to 5 year lead time before it's truly implemented, but we're working through developing pilots, evaluating the business case, and doing smaller implementations within the next year or two.
And you had mentioned how technology has matured even in the last year. I imagine technology will be even more mature naturally for you guys to have an easier way to get to that 3 to 5 year plan.
And it's all about the configuration control of this is going to be a big component, and the security is going to be a big component. So for the vendors that we're working with, or maybe will work with in the future, those are some of the things that we need to have a better way of doing things, a better way of building AR solutions for the everyday user instead of having a very dedicated force of software engineers, and a better way of working around the security controls that we have for secure programs like the F-35 or even secret programs like our space systems or other organizations within our business have. So those are some things for us as an enterprise to be successful. We're trying to work with some of the vendors to work through those challenges.
Cool. Maybe next year we'll bring you back and we'll ask you for some of those secrets.
Sure. I'd love to.
Great. Awesome. Well, my name is Mark, and with me was Christi Fiorentini with Lockheed Martin, Senior Applications Engineer, talking about